Today I'm playing Medieval Dynasty, and this time I'm attempting a silly challenge. Racimir must suffer! For this silly challenge, I haven't playtested it at all, so I don't even know if it'll pose a real challenge or not. But I don't care, I'm gonna have fun finding out. Under the default settings, I personally find Medieval Dynasty to be a very chill and not difficult game at all, which is perfectly fine. But that isn't the experience I'm after with this challenge. Like any good sandbox, there is a spattering of various difficulty sliders in this game. I'm gonna smash them all as far right as they go to see what kind of an ass-kicking this game is capable of handing out. I'll be sticking with the default 3 days per season, but food needs? 1000%! Water needs? 1000%! Wood needs? You guessed it! 1000%! My villagers will be constantly dehydrated gluttons who can only feel warmth when exposed to a hellfire's worth of wood burning around them at all times. And taxes? 1000%! But as for Racimir, everything will be a nuisance. Thirst, hunger, nothing is unlimited. Slow building, and worst of all, slow crafting. And finally, to strike true fear into the heart of Racimir, all animals and bandits will be set at 1000% hit points and 1000% damage delivered. Although, I think bandits don't spawn during the first year, so this might be a non-issue if I can fly through all the goals of this challenge. So, what are the goals? I don't want this to be another quagmire like the last time I played this game, so I'm going to keep the goals to end this challenge kind of modest. 1, I must complete the chapter quests, and 2, have enough money to cover all the accumulated tax debts. That's it. 10 simple quests that serve as the tutorial for the game with the added tax rule so I can't just speed run getting through them before getting kicked out of the valley for not paying my taxes. Most of these quest steps I don't think should serve too much of a problem, but there are a few that I think could prove to be interesting. So to keep me honest, I have also added a few sub-rules I've come up with to make things just a little more interesting, but I'll mention them when they become relevant. And quick shout out to Xmas for planning the idea of this run many months ago on Reddit. I'll link the first part of his attempt at it in the description, but I must confess I intentionally didn't watch much of his original streams until after I finished my run, as I knew I wanted to go in as blind as possible. Okay, here we go. I first need to talk to Uniegas to get the story started, blah 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 blah, then punch a goose for good luck to let the challenge commence. The first chapter just has us gather some basic resources to make a basic axe. Then we use that basic axe to gather more basic resources to make a basic hammer. Then we use that basic hammer to build a basic house. It should be pain-free. I made the axe with materials right outside of Gastovia, but waited on chopping the trees until I was at the location where I was going to build the settlement so I could use the lumber for the home. The location I want to use for this challenge is the area just northeast of Branica, mainly because there's a mouth of a cave that I want to build near there, so that I don't have to do any long distance hauling or mechanics abuse to move any ore that I might need. And it is also really close to 2 villages to make it convenient to find buyers for all of the merchandise I'll need to move to pay my taxes. And there's also this cozy little ditch to provide drinking water until I can get a well set up. Arriving at the cave, I discovered something shocking. Bandits!
I think bandits don't spawn during the first year, so this might be a non-issue.
So apparently I was misinformed about the year 1 bandits thing. Joy. I gotta see if I can drop a tree on him and maybe kill one with a lumber kill. Come on, bitches. Oh, yes. Oh, shit. One got away. Let's go. 1v1. $22. I hit that fool in the face 22 times with a stone axe, and he didn't go down. It's a 5v1 situation, and all I have is the most basic of axes. Can I perhaps lead them to Branitsa and turn this into a rumble? It'll be like in those movies when a stranger from faraway lands helps an isolated village learn how to battle and take down the people who are threatening them. This way, boys! Where are you going, you little piss ants? So I'm not sure if the mechanic here is that they only go so far from their camp, or if the city limits are repulsing them, but I think I can abuse this. Get back here, my axe needs to... Let's get some free tree damage, hopefully, before leading them to Branitsa. Let's go. Oh hell, there's only 3 of them. Did I kill one at the tree? We'll have to go back later to find out. Yes! Stay down, dog! Who's next? Is it you? You all fucked with the wrong Racimir today. Get over here, stick boy! Oh my god, slow your roll, tutorial! I'll be taking this, thank you. It looks like the tree guy is still alive. Oh, wait. Can I grab it out of his crotch? Oh, okay. Now we just have the archer to take care of. Nice shot, buddy. Take that. Oh, Jesus. Jesus. So the pain-free chapter 1 came with a big surprise helping of pain. But I had claimed my lands and it was time to build my house. Normally, Sigma male Grindset Racimir would know that every minute counts and was intending to spend the entire night working on this house. But he didn't expect an entire day of battle and was tottering near death. So I decided to set up a campfire and sleep away the pain. Only to realize that I haven't played this game in so long, I had forgotten that sleeping doesn't heal. He got to work and quickly finished off his home. Needing to decide on the name for his new settlement, Racimir looked to the sky and found inspiration by the rain of spectral corpses falling from the skies. Yes! It shall be called New Corpse Rain in honor of the grand city of Corpse Rain back in the old country. And I must confess, via the magic of movie making, it may have looked like he dominated those 1000% raiders, but in reality, even with save scumming every time I killed one, it actually took nearly 2 hours of combat that came at the cost of 53 Racimir corpses. Plus 1 more when I forgot to hydrate after the battle. Nothing in Chapter 2 gives me any pause. It has us make some new weapons for hunting, and hunting any kind of game with those new weapons. No problems making the tools, but as for the animal hunt, I do have a question that needs to be answered at this difficulty level. How many fists does it take to get to the center of a bunny pop? 1, 2? It takes 2 fists to get to the center of a bunny pop. I leveled up survival a bit and took the skill that lets me see sticks and stones, as well as one for 10% more health. I'm not sure how much more health will help here, but while the bandits often one-shot me, they didn't always one-shot me. So it might provide a little protection in future animal battles. Returning to the Sigma male grind set, I spent the night chopping trees for future construction. During the day, I started building the resource shed, which brings me to the first sub-rule. If a quest demands I build a building, I must build and keep that building. But I do not have to wait until a quest asks me to build something before I can build it. The first part of this sub-rule is to make the tax challenge more challenging. Each constructed building has a seasonal tax burden that accrues once it is constructed. That burden goes up as well every time a chapter quest is completed. The rule is to prevent shenanigans such as building a required building for a quest step and then just tearing it down if I don't need it to save on the tax burden. And the second part of this is because the resource shed isn't required until the 6th chapter, but I'm building it now, along with a woodshed. And as I expected, the rest of chapter 2 was uneventful. Three goals in this chapter, and I've already spent a skill point, so that one is completed. Already completed one of the 3 neighbor quests. I wonder if clearing out that bandit nest was a quest that I had never officially started, but the game still credited me with regardless. But I'll come back around to this step. I want to focus on the 3rd goal first. Successful flirting. So much like my building sub-rules, the same goes for people. If I'm required to recruit villagers, I must keep them and try to keep them happy. But I also don't need to wait until any step that requires bringing people in to bring people in. And quick spoiler, the final chapter quest is to get married and have a child. And since the act of wooing and manufacturing a child can take a year in game, I want to get a head start on that step by turning this flirting into my first villager whom I can then seduce. But since the laws of this society doesn't let you live with someone until you're married, I need to build a second house first. With the house built, I set out to tour the club scene of the nearby towns to find the most skilled woman folk to shack up with. Trash. Trash. All trash! I did a full loop of the close towns and came up girlfriendless. But I did acquire something almost as important. Buckets. Without some buckets, I wouldn't even be able to keep her hydrated. And that would just be cruel. Okay, but whatever. I'm gonna start the neighbor quest while I look more for a mate. But I need to introduce 2 more sub-rules. 1. In the spirit of adventure, I must choose the furthest quest marker away from where I am. And 2, no take backsies. These quests can range from LOL, chop me some trees, up until LOL, go kill some fucking wolves, boy. Whatever they offer, I have to take. A quick stop in Brnitsa to spend all the money I've made so far in travel packs, and it was off to do a good deed in Leshnica. Arriving in Leshnica, there was Skarbamira without the production skills, and Ludvika. Ludvika, who had many good skills, and told me a great joke about a snake.
What are the funniest animals? Snakes! They're hysterical.
It's her. She's the one. Except I'm apparently not famous enough yet. On to the first quest, I guess. No wolves, no wolves, no wolves. Yes! I just need to deliver an axe to Hornitsa. It's an adventure. Now I have to return with the payment as well? Well, it should be a pleasant stroll back to my future girlfriend. The quest was completed, and I was now famous enough for Ludvika to come home with me. And still in the spirit of adventure, the next villager quest needed to be claimed in Gustovia. No wolves, no wolves, no wolves. Yes! Easy resource quest! Cha-ching! Two objectives. Build a hunting lodge and hunt 3 fox or boar. This is the first step I've actually been kind of fearing. Chopping buns at this difficulty is pretty much effortless. But even with a basic crossbow, even birds already take 2 bolts to take down. But check out that crispy snipe though. Damn, Racimir. I did some other casual attempts at hunting during the last chapter and it didn't go well. I mean, I got totally rolled by a badger. So I expect foxes and boars to be no joke once they are wounded and want my blood. But before I attempt to hunt, I need to build this hunting lodge and address the new elephant in the room. My sweetheart Ludvika's appetite. Listen, at the normal 100% settings, meeting the needs of the villagers is so simple that I honestly don't even know how much of anything they need, since I've always had plenty in previous playthroughs. So with this new requirement displayed as 300 food, I can't even conceptualize what that even requires. So around 2 p.m., I tossed 2 buckets of water and 20 pieces of roast meat into her home just to see how she rations her food at this difficulty level. And by 6 p.m., she had eaten all the rabbit. This woman with the funny snake choke ate 10 fucking rabbits in 4 hours. Joy. I built the food storage and hunting lodge to better assess the situation. At 6 food per meat, this woman requires the caloric intake of eating 25 whole rabbits every single day. Jesus. Setting her to maximum hunting production barely even clears this mark, and I'll still have to be the one who sits around and cooks 50 plus pieces of meat every day just to keep her fed. So Racimir turned on the Sigma Male Grindset and spent the night foraging sticks and rocks to make knives. With those knives, he invested in some fresh cabbage and carrots. And with those fresh goods, he leveraged the market by making far more nourishing soup, stew, and potage. Soup was good. Soup could provide. This hustle needed to be incorporated. Thus, the new Corpse Rain Soup Company had been founded. And with autumn nearly done, it was time to see about killing me some fox and or boar. The fox actually wasn't too bad. Once it was bleeding from an arrow, the tick damage would occasionally stun it. But even then, just backpedaling was enough to evade all of its attacks. Little guy still took many iron axes to the face though before dropping. But isn't he cute when he's angry? 2 more foxes would be easy though to complete this step. So I think in the spirit of this challenge, I'm going to introduce a new sub-rule. 3 fox or boar? 3 fox and boar! I now need to take down at least 1 of each. But the day was getting dim, and Racimir had some overnight grind setting to do to buy more veggies for next season's soup. Winter had come, and I realized I had messed up. Looking at the management screen, a tax burden of 102 didn't seem correct. I looked at the settings and I'd somehow left the taxes at 100%. I reloaded the last autumn's save and fixed the issue. The new tax burden is now 777. The taxes for the first 2 seasons would have been quite small due to the low number of buildings and being in the early chapters, but I don't want to do the monkey math, so I'm just going to make it right by tossing 666 of my grind coins into the lake as a tax penalty. But how did this happen? I can trace the events causing this whoopsie back to about 5 months. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in the story. Maybe I'll do a supplementary behind the BS video. But since I know how I like to tell stories, I don't want to add another 7 minutes here explaining this snafu. Okay though, time to do battle with Mr. Boar. Unlike Mr. Fox, once enraged, the boar is much more skilled at landing its attacks, so trying to kite it doesn't seem to be the winning strategy here. But what if I use the base of a tall house as a hunting stand? Will it be smart enough to get up here? Oh shit, it is! Get! Oh, wait. Oh, but not smart enough to get down. This is gonna get nasty. It's just bleeding like a stuck pig. How many spears am I going to have to make? Oh my god, pig. This pig is eternal, for hell's sake. Jesus. Oh. Hell, it's gone. Better restock before heading off to find it. Or I just wait for it to come back to me. Hey, buddy. Oh, cool. Ha! Idiot. Fell for the same trick. The pig has fallen! Enjoy these fists, boy! The sub-rule of fox and boar was satisfied, but I still needed to net 1 more kill. The 8 meat from the boar was a nice little amount for some soup, so I figured I'd see if another pig would fall for my trap while I still had it set up. It did. But the hunting stand wasn't a required building, so I pulled it down before the taxman could take his share. The chapter was complete, but you know, I have all these spears now. I wonder if I can stick one into one of these super birds and have it fly off. Well, how is it still flying? Oh my god. Well, welcome back, buddy. Yeah, you want another? Huh? Oh my god, it's still alive. Now that's how you hunt crows in Medieval Dynasty! So the last time I played Medieval Dynasty with a silly set of restrictions, this chapter took me 33 hours to complete. But not today, buddy! We're gonna buy seeds, farm, and we're done. This chapter just has us building all the basic resource buildings, but I've already built all of these except for the well. And as I was on the last day of winter, I waited until spring to bang it out to keep myself in the lower tax bracket for one more season. This chapter has us bringing in a second home and a second villager, which I've already done with Ludvika. It also has us bringing the building count up from 9 to 15, so there's going to be a lot of banging this season. And I just don't mean houses. Ludvika and I have finally told enough dad jokes to each other that we got married. And at 7 p.m. tonight... But until then, I needed to see a 10x gain on my current holdings to pay the taxman. After flooding the local economy with 730 wooden vials and 175 feathers, Mr. Taxman had his share. Then it was just a matter of 6 more buildings to end the chapter. So this is the entrance point to the end game of this challenge. We already know that chapter 10 is to simply have a wife and child, and that win condition is already brewing, so I don't need to worry too much about it. Which leaves us with chapters 8 and 9, which I'll be working on concurrently. Chapter 8 was the one I was dreading the most for this challenge. Titled A Big Game, it has you hunt the 3 biggest, most tankiest animals in the game. A moose, a wisent, that's a bison for us Americans, and a bear. Even at normal difficulty, bears are a mean pain in the dupa, so I'm not excited for this one at all. And then on the other side of the endgame coin is Chapter 9, Newcomers. This chapter just has you get your village population up to 10 and put them to work. Now if this were a speed run and I was looking for the least amount of friction to finish these quests, what I would do is finish the hunts, wait until the child is born, generate enough money to cover taxes, and then in one season build all the housing I need and hire everyone to meet the requirements. But this isn't a speed run, it's a silly challenge, so that's not acceptable. If Chapter 8 puts the 1000% sliders for animal stats to the ultimate test, then Chapter 9 should put the 1000% sliders for villagers to the ultimate test. So thus, one final sub-rule. The run is not complete until every villager is at least 50% positive satisfaction, which means I'll need to keep them homed and fed long enough for their mood to improve above this threshold. First things first, given the 1000% modifiers, hunting any animal greater than rabbits is absolutely tedious to do manually, and my wife is kinda bad at that job. But now that I've been farming, creating enough food to feed my ravenous wife has been possible with enough left over to feed a second grand food hole. So it is time to bring in more hands, and this one must be skilled at hunting. Bleesboar will do. Oh, sweet Bleesboar, who I've noticed seems to stay up all night long and never sleeps. This is exactly what New Corpse Rain needs. Another man on the grind set. Winter came and the heir was born. I knew that this meant Ludvika would be taken off the production team for 2 years, but I was glad to see that this game didn't decide that an infant also needs to intake 25 rabbits worth of meat per day, but instead can live entirely off of mother's milk. God help her if it also is with a 1000% modifier. Feeling like a man after producing an heir, Racimir decided it was time to tick the first animal off the list. We're going after the moose. But if I recall correctly, unlike in real life where they are massive meat terror trains, in Medieval Dynasty, they just run away from you and provoke like some stupid common deer. Expecting this to be a war of attrition, I'm preparing something a little special for Mr. Moose. Poison arrows. I actually don't even know how poison works in this game. Does it add 25% bonus damage to each additional tick? Or is it a 25 accumulative thing, or if I get up to 100% it'll just die? Only one way to find out. Just as expected. Run, coward! Oh no. He's using the wolves for protection. Shit. What's this? The wolves are on my side? Does Racimir command the wolves? Oh, well, the moose is dead and that was really easy. Now to get that sweet poisoned moose meat. What in the Gumby? 22 meats from a moose that didn't put up a fight and is a giant target that is easy to hit with arrows isn't anything to balk at. I need to try this again. Well, Team Wolves helps again. Skedaddle! Okay, one more time. Well, I've wounded it enough to make it not able to run faster than Racimir. Time to finish this the old-fashioned way. Jesus, why am I using a bronze axe? Well, without the help from the wolves, a lot of poison arrows didn't drop it. So I looked up what 25% poison means, and it seems to be a 25% chance of doing an additional 5 points of damage. Yeah, seems it was the wolves' 1000% damage modifier on those first two that got the kill. Back on the Chapter 9 front, farm-to-table chef Racimir has been able to keep 3 people fed, but it does take a lot of effort. And at this point, the monthly tax bill is around 2,000 coins per season, so there isn't much time to do much else rather than produce goods to sell and work on producing meals and firewood. I built one more standby house just in case my wife offers a quest for a specialized villager that I don't want to refuse. Aside from that, I'm hatching a plan for the final happiness push. The tax bill for the 3rd year came in and is now at 8,600, a big increase from the previous year's 1,500. I did a little grind to clear the last 2k and set out to pay the man. Sure, I could have sent the wife, but sometimes you just need to get off the farm, and sometimes during these outings you find some nice loot to offset the next year's grind. And those geese in Gustovia just aren't gonna punch themselves. Damn, didn't know my own strength. But really, Racimir really enjoys paying his taxes in person. The sense of responsibility that comes with handing over the money and receiving a firm handshake makes Racimir feel like a man. So much of a man that riding that high made him decide it was time for another god to fall. The Wisent must die! These buggers are known to be aggressive once struck, so let's first see if I can kite one once it wants my blood. Oh, you bitch. Nope, don't think I can kite them. Perhaps I can outrun it back to Brunitsa and get it to do the fallback thing that the bandits did. Oh. Okay, this is working. The city fence is keeping it out. Oh shit, it's leaving. Oh no, are you stuck on the walks? Let me help you out. Oh yeah, it's running. This means we're getting close. Look how much blood is coming out of it. Oh, nope, 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 nope. Victory! Racimir tried to celebrate this victory with the company of one of the local women's, but alas, he was far too stinky for her. I theorized for a while how to best approach the push to 10 happy residents. I looked at my son Shavui and admired how he didn't seem to need to eat food. From this, I concocted an elaborate plan where I bring in 4 more adults, force them to fall in love, and have children at roughly the same time so that I could meet the 10-person requirement for food at the price of 8. At first, such a long-term act of social engineering seemed brilliant. But then I really thought about it and remembered, this is New Corpse Rain, home of the best damn stew and soup company in the valley. Farm fields, when compared to other buildings, are relatively cheap to the taxman. What if I keep bringing in people and focusing all their efforts on soup production? This company town could probably win their happiness through the pure brute forcing of soup production and soup consumption. Then Grindset Racimir doesn't have to wait around for years waiting for his employees to multiply. Yes! Expanding the farm operation and planning next season's cabbage got Racimir so amped up about the future of the New Corpse Rain Soup Company that he just had to destroy something. And that something was the final target. The bear! In the hills above Branica and New Corpse Rain, I keep encountering bears. So for the safety of both villages, this is the bear that must die. And also, I picked up this potion that removes animal hostility. I don't really expect it to work, but mayhaps I can just drink this and get the chopping? No. Okay, strategy 2 then. Piss it off and see if it'll chase me to town where I have more cover. Seems to work, except it keeps retreating. So much like the bandits squatting in my cave, it's gonna be a back and forth battle of attrition. I got the bitch bear boy to the point where it would start running away and I was giving it chase, when suddenly I completely lost track of it. Nowhere could I find any more blood, nor see my pincushion of arrows on the horizon in inspector mode. Eventually I found it? Maybe? I think my first bear already spawned, and this was a whole new bear as he didn't seem to have any of my arrows stuck in him. And the quest also hasn't progressed, so the OG bear hadn't bled out somewhere. Oh! Ah yes, the classic hope to get stuck on a rock strategy. Time to get shopping. Oh, he needs running. His Charmin ass is mine. Come on, bear. Oh shit. Ooh, he mad. He is mad. Come on, bitch. Let's go. Fuck. Oh. This is why I'm playing this playthrough on mouse and keyboard. I would have died trying to make that turn on a controller. Yes! You're dead, bear! And also, it seems to have cursed my arrows, making them unable to be picked up. I waited until autumn before perusing the local club scene for a new villager in hopes that my wife would give me a specialist quest. But she didn't.
Hello there.
Rude. I headed south and found Samogost clubbing around the fire of Yazurika. 3 hunting and 3 farming is what I was after. The trip also drummed up an overturned wine cart, which was good for some income that I didn't have to grind for. I punched a pigeon as well, but alas, this time it was too strong for my fists. With Samogost present, I was up to 5 villagers. In preparation for this final population push, I put up 2 more houses to give me enough people storage to meet the requirements of Chapter 9. In winter, my dad joke wife finally gave me the Mother of Invention Stranger quest, but by this point I was content just to hire the regular rabble to finish off this challenge, but sure, why not? I did the quest and added Nicola to my village and put her to work in the kitchens making soups. I got back to work grinding money to cover my upcoming tax debt and waited for spring. The spring which would be the last. When I hired Samogost, I observed that it took him about a day to get cozy enough in New Corpse Rain to achieve this happiness goal. So I needed to move fast to hire the final villagers to make sure that they become optimally happy in the same season. Spring came and I had plenty of grind coins to cover the 10,000 coin debt. I set out to pay the bill and hired the final villagers. The final happiness push had begun. But immediately, I realized I forgot to stockpile firewood. Look out, lady! The professional is here! A quick mini grind to get some firewood into the reserves righted this wrong. The night was spent stockpiling even more soups and gruel. By morning, Zbigniewa had crossed the threshold. 3 to go. Blizbor did some parkour and the happiness grind continued. Soon, Yarognev had achieved bliss. 2 to go! Racimir attempted some parkour as well, but hadn't mastered it like Blizbor had. Leonarda soon achieved nirvana feeding the chickens. 1 to go. It was all down to Melvina. Go, go, go! Plane that wood to happiness! Oh shit, she stalled at 45%, but I know how I can solve this. A new rug and some straw bundles in her home should do the trick. Yes, she's getting happy. Grind, Malvina, grind! 48%. Grind harder! This is the most important grind of your life, Malvina! 50%! We've done it! Holy shit! All the taxes are paid, all the people are happy, all the soup will live forever! Soon after proving their worth as the finest soup company in all the valley, the new Corpse Rain Soup Company was acquired by an even larger soup conglomerate in a nearby region. Racimir got his payday, but the crew were all let go as production was absorbed into the new parent company. The company town was then shuttered and left abandoned. Word on the street is that the quality of the product has suffered severely since this merger. But as for me, your humble narrator, some closing thoughts about playing with all the sliders at 1000%. While doing this certainly isn't for everyone, I actually want to try this again for a long-term build just to see if it is possible to build a mostly self-sustaining village at these levels. During this taste, none of my villagers leveled up any of their work skills. I didn't level up any diplomacy enough to unlock any of the skills that relieve some of the villager needs and tax pressures, and I was never able to unlock the higher tiers of food that pack more nutrition than the soups I was making. But here's the thing. When I played this game at normal difficulty, it felt to me like none of those things were required to build a thriving settlement. Every high-powered food or skill to reduce villager needs just seemed like a means to pile on money faster to help unlock the 1 million coin achievement. But at 1000%, for the food I had unlocked, each villager needed around 10 meals per day. Seeing some of the locked higher tier foods that would only require 3 meals per day really made me want to grind to unlock those to maybe make running the village a little easier. But also, as I'm dumping so much money into paying the tax man, every coin earned to buy the recipes for higher tier productions feels like it needs to be more calculated on what I spend the money on. I'm writing this part of the script on the same day that the update adding the Oxbow map was released, so whenever I get around to playing the game again on that map, I suspect I'll go all in on 1000%. However, I am totally going to turn on the fast crafting back if I do so. But also from what I've been reading, it does look like a big part of the hunting and food economy has changed, so it might even feel like a whole new challenge. But as for the 1000% for animals and bandits, it can go suck a copper knife. I assume that there's probably a setting higher than 100% that I would enjoy, but 1000% is not it. The artificial difficulty of just turning animals into arrow sponges wasn't a rewarding increase in difficulty. It felt like it effectively cut out the entire hunting aspect of the game, as killing anything bigger than a bun turned into a no-fun slog, wasting time that would be better served grinding something else to keep the village alive. But again, I've also read that hunting got more difficult overall, with greater rewards with the Oxbow update, so maybe I'll be happy with just those changes. Time will tell. And I guess that's it. So without further ado, like the video if you enjoyed it, and please consider subscribing. If I ever do a nice village on 1000%, I expect I'll make another video going over the experience. Until then, watch more videos.